Imagine this. You win the lottery tomorrow. Boom, $10 million lands in your bank account. You celebrate, you buy a house, a car, maybe even spoil your friends and family. Life feels like a dream. But here's the twist. According to the National Endowment for Financial Education, about 70% of lottery winners are broke within 5 years. Some even end up worse off than before they won. Crazy, right? How can someone blow through millions while another person who never makes more than $50,000 a year retires comfortably and debt-free? That's what we're talking about in this lesson. Not just how to make money, but the psychology of keeping it, growing it, and living without money stress. Because trust me, this isn't about income, it's about mindset. Let me walk you through 5 powerful money lessons, told through real stories that will change how you see wealth forever. Lesson 1. The illusion of control. We love to believe success is just about working hard, being smart, and never giving up. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Luck and risk are silent partners in every story. Take Bill Gates. Everyone knows him as the genius who built Microsoft. But did you know that in the late 1960s, Gates attended one of the only high schools in America that had a computer? Less than 0.1% of schools had that luxury at the time. That one random break gave him a decade-long head start. His intelligence? Absolutely. His work ethic? Legendary. But without that lucky environment, there might not be a Bill Gates as we know him. Now compare that to Jesse Livermore. He was a legendary Wall Street trader in the early 1900s. He made and lost several fortunes. In 1929, when the stock market collapsed, he was worth about $100 million in today's dollars. But a few years later, he lost everything. He didn't suddenly become stupid. The risk finally caught up to him. Here's the takeaway. Success isn't 100% skill, and failure isn't 100% stupidity. Both are influenced by timing, luck, and risks outside of our control. So instead of obsessing over copying someone's exact steps, the smarter move is this. Play the game so that luck can help you, but risk can't completely destroy you. Lesson 2. Getting rich versus staying rich. Making money and keeping money are two different skill sets. Let's look at athletes. Mike Tyson earned over $400 million in his boxing career. At one point, he was so rich, he bought 3 Bengal tigers, a $2 million bathtub, and fleets of Ferraris and Lamborghinis. By 2003, he was bankrupt, $23 million in debt. Or take actor Nicolas Cage. He made over $150 million, but went broke after buying castles, exotic animals, and even dinosaur skulls. Now contrast that to Warren Buffett. He's worth over $120 billion, yet he still lives in the same modest Omaha house he bought in 1958 for $31,500. He avoids unnecessary risks, and his golden rule is simple. Don't lose money. Here's the point. Getting rich requires optimism and risk-taking. You start a business, you invest in bold ideas, you bet on yourself. Staying rich requires humility and risk avoidance. You protect what you've built. You avoid over-leverage, and you play defense. Think about it like climbing a mountain. Getting to the top is tough, but you know what's harder? Getting down safely. Too many people celebrate at the peak and then fall off. So, if you're building wealth, learn when to switch gears, from bold moves to careful preservation. Lesson 3. Saving money isn't about things, it's about freedom. When most people think of saving, they think, ugh, so I can't have my Starbucks latte? That's the wrong mindset. Here's the truth. Saving money isn't about buying more stuff later. It's about buying freedom today. Picture 2 coworkers. Alex earns $100,000 a year, but spends $95,000 a year. Jamie earns $50,000 a year, but spends only $35,000 a year. Who's richer? Jamie is, because Jamie has options. Jamie can quit a toxic job, move cities, or take a career risk. Alex, despite the higher salary, is trapped in paycheck-to-paycheck stress. And studies show that even 6 months of expenses saved drastically reduces financial stress. Here's the secret. Nobody claps when you transfer $500 into your savings. Nobody likes to brag about not buying something. But those invisible choices are what create real wealth. Because at the end of the day, the best thing money can buy is not a car, not a vacation, but control over your time. Lesson 4. Wealth is invisible. In 2014, a Ronald Reed passed away at age 92. He lived modestly, drove an old car, and worked part-time at JCPenney. When he died, people were shocked. He left behind $8 million. How? By living below his means and quietly investing over decades. Meanwhile, think about the guy driving a brand new Ferrari down your street. You see the car and assume he's rich. But all that proves is he spent $300,000. You have no idea what's left in his bank account. He could be drowning in debt. Wealth is what you don't see. It's the investments quietly compounding, the cash cushion in the bank, the financial security that isn't flaunted. That's why some six-figure earners retire broke, while others earning far less retire with comfort. One buys things, the other buys freedom. So here's a mental shift. Don't confuse looking rich with being rich. Looking rich is temporary. Being rich is sustainable. Lesson 5. Emotions drive money more than math. Here's where most financial advice goes wrong. They assume money is just numbers, logic, spreadsheets. But money is emotional. If you were a robot, the smartest thing to do would be to put 100% of your wealth in stocks, leave it for 50 years, and ignore the ups and downs. Historically, you'd end up a millionaire. But what happens when the stock market crashes 40%? Your emotions kick in. Fear takes over. Many investors panic and sell, locking in losses. In fact, a Dalbar study found that the average investor earns about half the returns of the stock market because of emotional decisions. That's why being reasonable often beats being perfectly rational. For example, Warren Buffett doesn't chase the highest return strategies. He invests in boring, steady businesses, things that let him sleep at night. That's why he's been in the game for over 60 years. Here's a story. A friend of mine spent years obsessing over finding the perfect investment. He compared stocks, read blogs, watched videos. But in the end, he was paralyzed by too much information and never invested at all. Another friend just set up automatic contributions into index funds and forgot about it. Guess who ended up richer? The one who took action. The lesson is, find a money plan you can actually stick to, not the one that looks best on paper. Final thoughts. Play the long game. Money isn't about flexing or chasing the highest income or finding some secret investment hack. It's about mindset. Recognizing luck and risk, learning the difference between getting rich and staying rich, saving for freedom, not for stuff, understanding that wealth is invisible, and respecting your emotions because money isn't just math, it's psychology. If you take anything away from this video, let it be this. The goal isn't to look rich. The goal is to stop worrying about money forever. And the best time to start building that future? Yesterday. The second best time? Right now. So, what about you? Do you think being rich is more about how much you earn or how much you keep? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspective. And if you found this video valuable, make sure to hit subscribe because we've got more real-life money stories coming your way.